And good day everyone. Today we will cover our third subtopic under working capital management, which are current liabilities. So are you ready? Now let's start. First of all, let's look at the learning objectives for this topic. So at the end of this chapter, students should be able to explain the management of accounts payable, understand what commercial paper is used for, explain the various forms of bank credit available, and describe pledging of accounts receivable, accounts payable, and inventory loans. Class, as we know, current liability are the short-term sources of funds of a firm, which include accounts payable, accruals, notes payable, and short-term loans. But do you know that some of these funds are either secured or unsecured? Now, what do you mean by secured or unsecured funds? Secured sources of funds means that the funds require the borrower to pledge specific assets as a collateral in the event of any default in payment of principal or interest, whereby unsecured sources would only be dependent on the ability of the borrower to repay the funds when due. So in this chapter, I will discuss further in these components such as accounts payable, management, commercial paper, bank credit, account receivable loans, as well as inventory loans. First component will be accounts payable management. Accounts payable or trade credit is one of the most flexible sources of short-term financing. A firm may obtain credit when it purchases materials from supplier after the supplier approves the firm's credit rating. The objective of the firm in setting the amount due to the supplier is to pay as slowly as possible without damaging the credit rating. So how the firm can do that? Yes, by pay on the last day of credit terms so that firm able to maximize the interest-free loan from the supplier. Most suppliers would offer cash discount for early payment. Firm can either pay full invoice amount at the end of the credit period or pay the discounted price at the end of the discount period. The variance on both amount paid to suppliers must be undertaken. If the firm takes the cash discount, it will shorten the average payment period and lengthen the cash conversion cycle. If not, it will be paying the full invoice amount charged. The difference between the full amount and the discounted amount is an interest charged on the firm. The formula for calculating the interest rate associated with not taking the cash discount is as follows. I equivalents to A over 1 minus A times 360 divided by C minus B, where I is the annual interest cost of not taking a discount, A is equivalent to the percentage of the discount, B is the cash period, and C will be the credit period. Okay class, now let's refer to example 1 at page 156. Mohd Enterprise is considering to accept a cash discount of 2 over 10 net 30 from one of its suppliers. So other sources of short-term financing charge 10%. Should Mohd Enterprise take the cash discount or use the maximum of 30 days credit from its supplier? So we will use the formula that I showed to you just now. So from here, we can see that A is equivalent to the percentage discount, which is 2%. B is the cash discount period, which is 10. And C is the credit period, which is 30. Now, substitute all of this relevant information into our formula. I is equivalent to A divided by 1 minus A times 360 divided by C minus B. So it will be like this. 0.02 divided by 1 minus 0.02 times 360 divided by 30 minus 10. So your answer should be 36.7%. So therefore, the annualized rate charged by the supplier to a borrower for not taking the cash discount is 36.7%, whereas the other sources charge only 10%. So as a result, Mohd Enterprise should take the cash discount and obtain the needed funds from the other sources available. Because why? Because the cost that they forgone the discount is higher than the source of financing, other source of financing that charge only 10%. So the advantage of trade credit is that it is obtained as a normal part of firm's operations, where normal procedures have to be adhered to. It is a form of credit that expands and contracts with the needs of the firm. Let's discuss on this part. Commercial banks are the major source of unsecured short-term credit, such as lines of credit, revolving credit agreements, and transaction loans with maturity period of 12 months or less. The interest rates will depend on the creditworthiness and the risk of borrower and the prevailing interest rates. A line of credit is an informal agreement between the bank and the borrower in relation to maximum amount of credit provided. Interest is charged at certain percentage above prime rate of lending, which fluctuates with changing supply and demands for the firm, or for the funds. Borrower will be required to maintain a compensating balance, which is the minimum balance in the bank throughout the period of the loan. The reason for this is to force borrowers to be good customer and may risk interest cost to borrower. Next, a revolving credit agreement. It is a formal and guaranteed line of credit used by large firms where borrower is assured specified amount of funds regardless of scarcity of money. This fund is come with commitment fee, usually about 0.5% based on the average unused balance of the credit line. Next will be transaction loans. These are loans that for a specific purpose which obtained by signing a promissory notes. Usually, it has maturity from 30 days to 9 months. Interest rates calculated as simple interest or as discount interest. The type of interest charge will determine the effective cost of the bank loan. So these are the example of interest under bank credit. We have simple interest, discount interest, simple interest with compensating balance, and discount interest with compensating balance. In simple interest loan, interest is charged based on amount borrowed, or AB, and is paid when the loan ends. Whereby, in discount interest loan, interest is charged on AB but is paid when the loan begins. This interest is deducted in the beginning, which results in borrower receiving less than the face value of loan. Hence, discount interest will increase the effective cost of loan. As you can see, the formula to calculate the effective available rate or effective annual rate can be calculated by interest divided by the amount received. It's same for the simple interest and the discount interest. For under simple interest, the amount received will be equivalent to the amount borrowed. You can refer to example 2 and 3, whereby for discount interest, amount received is equivalent to the amount borrowed minus interest. You can refer to example 4 and 5. Banks may require borrowers to maintain compensating balances in their bank account throughout the period of loan. This will increase effective cost of interest unless firm has either cash which are equal or greater than the required balance to cover the compensating balance. So this will be the formula to calculate the effective annual rate when you are using simple interest or discount interest with compensating balance. For simple interest with compensating balance, the amount received will be equivalent to the amount borrowed minus compensating balance, where you can refer to example 6 until example 9. For discount interest with compensating balance, amount received will be equivalent to amount borrowed minus interest minus compensating balance. You can refer to example 10 until example 13. Next, let's discuss on commercial paper. Commercial paper is a form of short-term financing, consists of unsecured promissory notes issued only by firms with high credit standing, usually larger firms that are financially sound. The maturity period ranges from 30 to 270 days, with interest rate range from 0.5% to 4%, which is lower as compared with the commercial banks. It is issued directly by the issuing firms to the investing public or placed by the dealers who sell the issue for the issuing firm. Commercial paper interest is usually discounted and a fee will be charged if it is placed by the dealer. You can refer to example 14 for further calculation. Here I list down for you the advantages and the disadvantages of commercial paper. Now let's look at the advantages of this commercial paper. Number 1, the interest rate is lower as compared to bank loans and other sources for short-term financing. Next, it does not require any compensating balance. Thus, it is more convenient to borrower and make it less costly. Then, it can offer a large amount of short-term funds to firms with large credit requirement. Hence, it becomes very convenient to these firms, as if they try to obtain the same amount of financing from commercial banks, they might need to deal with so many restrictions placed by the regulatory authorities. Lastly, a firm issuing commercial paper enjoys the prestige associated with its issuance, since only high credit rating firms have access to the commercial paper market. However, this commercial paper is impersonal and not allow any flexibility regarding repayment to the borrowers. The next component will be accounts receivable loans. In certain situations, firms may use their accounts receivable as collateral to raise short-term financing in two ways. First, by pledging their accounts receivable. Secondly, by factoring the accounts receivable. Now let's discuss further on this. First, in terms of pledging the accounts receivable. Borrower will pledge accounts receivable as collateral for a loan obtained for each individual accounts pledged. It charges interest about 2 to 5% higher than banks and finance companies. There is a handling fee equal to 1% to 2% of receivables pledged. And it provides flexibility to borrower, but it is more expensive. You can refer to example 15 for further calculation. Next will be factoring accounts receivable. This involves the outright sale of accounts receivable to a factor, which may be a commercial bank or finance company. The factor will charge a fee for servicing the accounts, and the fee is stated as a percentage of the face value of all receivables factored, usually 1 to 3%. The factor then will be responsible for the collection of the debts. Payments are made after collection or when credit terms have been made. The maximum loan that the firm may obtain from the factor is the face value of its factored accounts, less the factor's fee, a reserve, and the interest on loan. Refer example 16, Melati Berhad, for further understanding. Next will be inventory loans. Inventory is the second most desirable collateral for short-term loans next to accounts receivable. A lender securing a loan with inventory most likely be able to sell it for at least its book value if the borrower defaults on its obligations. The lender will specifically look for items that can be easily sold with stable prices. The amount of loan that can be obtained depends on the marketability and perishability of the inventory. There are several methods of using inventory to secure short-term debt, such as floating land agreement, shuttle agreement, field warehouse financing, and terminal warehouse agreement. Students can read further on this method in the textbook from page 169 until 170. So that's all for my lecture for this subtopic. See you again in the next lecture or the next session. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.